Welcome to the Zone Management Bootcamp with John Condry. A young man goes into the military and he goes to boot camp and he's not happy about being in the military. And finally he gets a weekend off. He's so excited. He gets to go home and see his girlfriend. And what happens? The duty roster comes out and he's on it. Motor pool. Instead of going home to see his girl, he's got to sit all weekend in the motor pool and just do nothing because nobody ever calls for any vehicles over the weekend. He's negative, he's down, he's discouraged, he's angry, and now as he's sitting in the motor pool over the weekend, the phone rings. He's shocked. Hello? Voice on the other end says, hello, son. What kind of vehicles do you have there for the officers? Kid says, well, let me see here. Well, we got Jeeps for the sergeants and the lieutenants. We got command cars for the captains and the colonels. Oh yeah, and we got this big old black Cadillac for old Fatty, the general. And the voice on the other end says, son, do you have any idea who you are speaking to? Kid says, nope. He says, well, this is the general speaking. And the kid says, do you know who this is speaking? And the voice says no, and he says, so long, Fatty. What managing in the zone is all about is responding versus reacting. Are you going to react on automatic pilot to the situations that you face every day? Or are you going to take a step back, survey the situation, and so long, Fatty? Well, what we've got to do is recognize how we go about making decisions and why we react to things the way we do. There's two parts of your brain at work. The first part is the limbic system. The limbic system, you are on automatic pilot. You are what we call unconsciously competent. Now, animals have the same survival mechanism. When a lion sees a gazelle, its first thought is food. It's not thinking, oh, I wonder if that gazelle has a family. They're not concerned about any moralistic issues. They're just taking care of themselves. Well, there's a higher brain, the prefrontal cortex, where you are able to make good adult, strong decisions based on facts and information and process it. Now the problem is that we get caught up in our emotions and survival, and we do not access the prefrontal cortex. Managing in the zone wakes it up and puts you on a path to be able to make strong, clear, positive decisions. Zone management puts you back in control of decision-making under pressure. This will transform your natural gifts for management into mega gifts. Zone management will reduce drama in the workplace and in your business situations and scenarios. When drama is out of the equation, or at least reduced, it creates a clear path to making smart choices. Smart choices, when it's not an exact science in business, you got to play the percentages. The more smart choices you make, the better the results end up being. Now, the zone has four very specific areas. The first is the red zone. The red zone is liability issues. Number two is the yellow zone. Yellow zone is all about developing leadership and building relationships. The green zone is all about investment opportunities and taking advantage when a situation or an environment is very positive and you're doing well, to keep doing what you're doing and you keep getting good stuff. The blue zone is about preventive maintenance. Then we will go to each particular zone and we will establish the following. First of all, what is the current condition? Once we see the condition, we'll look at the drama that's going on and the drama indicators, as we like to call them. Then we will go to what is the focus, what is the main thing that we want to do there, and then what are our options, and last but not least, what is your mindset or your personality style that you have to get the best opportunity for success. Welcome to the red zone. In the red zone, we have what is called a liability. We are at risk. We are in danger. Ability and effort are both at unacceptable levels, and we are in trouble. And if we don't take swift, direct action, it could be the demise of our world, not to be overdramatic about it. Now, what is the drama factor? How would you be aware that we could be in a red zone situation in your relationships, or with an employee, or in your business, or with yourself? How would you know that? Well, let me give you a good drama indicator. Anger. Anger is the big indicator. If you are mad or other people are mad, that's a good indicator that we're in the red zone. So if you're in the red zone and you recognize it, then you get to start looking at your options. The options in the red zone are as follows. Number one, protect yourself. You have to become selfish in the red zone because you are in danger. You are under attack. Number two, authority. If you have authority in any situation, you have to use it. If you don't have authority, you have to go tell someone in authority. I like to call it stranger danger. Okay, if you see somebody that's you shouldn't be on the playground, the kid doesn't go up and try to say, get off the playground. He goes and finds a parent or someone who has authority. Always go public in the red zone. There are no secrets in the red zone. Everybody gets to know about what's going on. Confront it directly. Establish boundaries, and in many cases, these things will lead to terminations. Let's do a couple of quick examples. Example number one is a relationship that is in the red zone. If you have a personal or professional relationship in the red zone, it is what you would label as toxic. It is a liability. It is taking you backwards. So what would you do? You have to first of all separate business and personal issues. You have to be able to not take it personally and look at the situation for what it is. Face reality. Many times you have to reestablish boundaries in these relationships and protect yourself. And in most cases, you have to terminate or end that relationship. If you terminate or end any relationship that has a red zone situation or red zone condition, always remember to immediately go to a do not contact position until it has some distance. Now let's talk about an employee situation, for example. If you have an employee, which means their ability and effort is below acceptability, then again, you have to confront them. You have to now go public. You have to write them up, put them on some kind of disciplinary program. Some type of progressive discipline where you give them verbal warnings and then you give them written warnings and then you put them on some form of performance improvement plan or suspension or any of these things, these boundaries that protect the company. And of course, at some point, you might need to terminate the relationship. And the way that you terminate the relationship is pretty easy. You're doing people no favors by keeping them in a situation that is producing a red condition on a regular basis. If there's a part in your business that is red zone, that means you're losing money. Have you ever heard of the expression throwing good money after bad? You're wasting time, money, and effort in parts of your business that are taking you away from your goals. That also has to do with your time. Many times I will meet business owners and independent producers and franchisees, owners, all kinds of folks that I've done the thousands of training classes for over the years. And they're $500 an hour people doing $50 an hour work, or in some cases, $5 an hour work. They don't know how to let things go. So when you're looking at your business model, you might have to cut off some of those unprofitable ventures that you love, but they're not really working for you. You also might have to tell mom she's going to have to find work somewhere else. These are tough decisions, but have to be made. Now let's do you, last but not least. Let's say you're in the red zone with some habit of yours. You got a character defect, and we all have them, so don't be shying away now and turning me off. We all have them. If you have a character defect or a habit, it's time to go public. You need a sponsor. You got to get yourself public, and you've got to address it and deal with it and not run away with it. And when you do, then you will find yourself with someone who holds you accountable. You can't be like, well, I'm going to go ahead, even though this is a serious situation that's holding me back, I can do it on my own. Nope, not in the red zone. In the red zone, always find people in authority, always get assistance, always go public. When dealing with red zone scenarios in any of the four major areas, the mindset must be total domination. You must use the dominant personality. If you do not have a dominant personality, you must then bring someone who does into the mix. If that's not possible, you get to adapt. When you read your personality profile that you'll take in one of our missions, you'll get to see how much you have of this dominant director quality. Regardless, you got to take control. power and control, bottom line focused, separate business and personal issues. Can you do that? You might tell me you can't. People with this personality are very gifted at it. Whenever I've worked for people, I've always worked for people that have a lot of this in their natural gift, natural personalities. I used to have a boss who would always tell me, I would come in and he'd say, what's going on? And I would launch into some big story about it. And he would stop me and say, John, please, could you just do me a favor? Could you go to the bottom line and work back up, but don't bother working back up? That's the mindset that you need to have. Take care of your business and never look back. Welcome to the blue zone. What is the conditions that we are facing in the blue zone? Well, we have a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of effort, but we don't have a lot of knowledge and skills. What does this mean? It means that you're new to whatever situation you're in. You could be a newlywed, you could be new business owner, you could be a new employee, or you could be just new to learning a new skill and ability. Now, when you're in these kinds of situations, what are you doing? Well, you are doing technical training. You are learning the basics. You are going back to basics. This whole program that we do with you is a basics program, and it's focused here in the blue zone. Now, but you can't stay in the blue zone forever, because here's the truth. Everybody who's in the blue zone, everybody goes through adolescence. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or if you're in business or you're an employee or you're kind of working on yourself. Everyone know what adolescence is? If you have kids out there, you know what it is. I have 4 daughters. When my daughters, up till about age 12, they were all in the blue zone. They were all open-minded, they were all listening, they believed every word that I said, they followed everything that I told them to do. And that's what the blue zone is all about. People are just listening and doing exactly what you tell them to do because they're open-minded and they want to learn and they're new. Or they've been in a slump and they've been humbled, and so they want to be able to get their skill level up. Well, somehow between 12 and 13, my daughters left the blue zone and didn't leave any forwarding address. Because all of a sudden I became an idiot. I became a moron. I didn't know anything. They're not listening to me whatsoever. So understand the blue zone is temporary. You're in the blue zone for a period of time. Like, for example, let's start and look at some of the different areas that we do. Now, how are you going to know that you're in the blue zone? You know it because of the drama. You're being criticized. Things are happening and people are criticizing you because you are missing steps. You are leaving things undone. Like one producer that I was doing some coaching for, he said to me, how can I be bouncing checks? I still have some. When people are being overly critical, you're not taking care of your business. You're not taking care of the basics of your business, and that's where you run into trouble. Many lawsuits, many compliance issues, many business failures come out of this area. Let's look at each one of them in each area. For example, if a relationship is in the blue zone, it's new, and what's required is some basic training of how to be in a relationship. And of course, in a business relationship, how to be a partner. You may have never been a partner with someone in a business. So you need to get some training on that. You need to study up on that. You need to learn a little bit about how what are the basics of becoming a good partner. Number 2, if you're an employee, you're just supposed to keep your mouth shut and learn. When you're in the blue zone, there's a couple of rules. Here's rule number 1. Give up your right to fail. Follow the bouncing ball. Don't talk. Listen, listen, listen. Even if you have all kinds of input, there's no suggestion boxes in the blue zone. We don't need your input. You need to listen and learn so that you can get the basics down of whatever you're doing. That's what's important when you're in the blue zone. Now, one of the other things that's important that's in the blue zone is that movement equals improvement. When you're getting on track, you want to make sure that you're doing the right things and you're learning the right way to do things up front. Now, in your business, a blue zone area will be money, finance, accounting. I know some of you are already turning this off as I'm even saying it. It scares the life out of you. Compliance issues. How many times have I heard complaints from producers, for example? I have trained producers in the insurance field for years, and they're always telling me, John, I'm making so much money. I'm doing so great in my business. And I go, great, that's awesome. Unfortunately, I can't pay for a $100 seminar because I don't have any money, because I just got a tax bill and I don't have any money to pay it. I'm like, what? How does that happen? You see? Well, that happens because you're not aware of the blue zone. You're not taking care of the basics of your business, and you're letting that go. I know entrepreneurs that don't even want to look in their bank account. They're afraid. They don't want to know what's going on in their world. The blue zone loves information. It loves detail. It loves things laid out on a spreadsheet, and it loves to find mistakes. Nothing is more exciting for someone who's very gifted at running the blue zone than to find errors, to be a whistleblower, and to make people known that they are messing up. It's their gift, and we need it. When it comes to yourself, this means that you have a personal, regular study habit of learning. You know, it's funny. My youngest daughter, who's getting married this year, I remember after high school, I sat down with her and said, okay, honey, what do you want to do with your life? And she was like, oh, I don't want to go to school anymore. Tired of school. And here she is, she's 17 and already tired of school. And I'm like, honey, you never stop learning. And that's what the blue zone is all about. The blue zone is not about how much knowledge you have or knowing how to do something. The blue zone is about working on your game. If you ever see some of the best professionals in any area, what are you going to find about them? They constantly work on their game. The Kobe Bryants of the world, those people are as good in practice as they are in the game. And that's how it works. The blue zone is about being a fantastic practice player. So when you're getting a lot of criticism and you realize you got to start to have a new mindset, and you got to get back to basics and do the training and look at the detail part of your business, especially the finances, then you got a single-minded focus of what are the rules and following the rules. Now, the mindset that you've got to have in the blue zone, you got to be the sheriff. You got to be a cautious thinker. You got to be patient. You got to ask for detail. You got to ask questions. Who, what, why, when, how. You get to go deeper than you normally do. You get to understand the rules, how things work. What are the compliance issues? All of these things will go to make you very successful in the blue zone. Welcome to the yellow zone. The yellow zone is yellow because it's bright, it's cheery, it's positive. Let the sun shine in. It's time for hope and motivation. Now, what we have when we have a yellow zone situation, the condition is that we have a lot of ability, but we don't have enough effort. People are in a place that I like to call Bohica Village. Now, Bohica Village, Bohica stands for bend over, here it comes again. When people are in Bohica Village, they are down, entitled, depressed, discouraged, and not motivated to want to even get up in the morning sometimes, let alone grow and improve. There's no goals that are set, there's just complaining. Now, there's 3 levels to Bohica Village, and you want to be able to recognize each one of them. There's visitors to Bohica Village, and we all visit from time to time. We all have bad days, tough stuff happens, and when we do, we like to visit Bohica Village. The key is getting out as quickly as you got in. Number 2, some people are residents. Some people have a nice condo in Bohica Village. They like to visit it on a regular basis, and it's awesome for them. Not awesome for us or for the results. Number 3, some people are the mayor of Bohica Village. Do you have any idea what the mayor of Bohica Village's job is? Recruiting, bringing everybody else into the mix. Now, in Bohica Village, a lot of times what we will try to do, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's with employees or whether it is in your business or whether or not it's with yourself, what we will try to do is work on your quote-unquote attitude. You've got to just strike that from your whole verbiage. Never talk about attitude with anyone. Nobody wants to talk about their attitude. Everybody always tells me, I'm like, hey, you've got an attitude issue. And they're like, my attitude is awesome. Okay, so it doesn't help at all to have that discussion. Instead of talking attitude, when you have a yellow zone scenario, you talk leadership. This is all about leadership development. The answer to Bohica Village is leadership. I talk to people all the time. Let's take some business settings, for example. Let me go there first. In sometimes an employee setting, an employee will come to me and they will say, John, listen, I would really work harder if I could get some more money. And I always tell to them, hey, you're in the yellow zone because you're talented, but you're not working or you're not willing to put in that extra effort. Let me help you. Money follows, it doesn't lead. Let me help you with this. If you never do more than you get paid for, you never get paid more than you're worth. I didn't invent this stuff. It's just how motivation happens. Now let's go in and look at the different options you can have here. When you're in the yellow zone, the option A is start to have fun. Get creative. Start to have incentives, giving people a reason to want to come to work every day. That's what the yellow zone is all about. Now let's take some examples. Let's look, for example, in a relationship. If your relationship is in Bohica Village, which means what? It's dull, it's dead, it's not going anywhere, it's boring. Okay, what are you going to do? You know, it's got possibilities, so you don't want to just can it. It's not a red zone relationship. So what is it? You've got to put the spice back in your life. You've got to start having fun, getting creative, doing some new things and new and different ways to put some pizzazz back in that relationship. If it's an employee, this is one that I've had so much experience with. Employees get to Bohica Village on a regular basis. And managers and owners are always coming to me going, how do I get these people to motivate it and take a leadership role? Well, number one, set some goals. Number two, give them some incentive to want to do something. That gets rewarded gets done. Many times we want people to take responsibility for the business and yet they get no positive reinforcement from it. So you've got to understand about that with employees. Help them to get excited about, give them something to get excited about. If it is in your business, you know what this is all about, don't you? This part of your business? Marketing. Marketing, getting the word out, branding, getting people excited about what you're doing. I meet entrepreneurs all the time that are like, I'm really good at what I do. And I go, yeah, but nobody knows anything about you. And they're like, yeah, we don't know how to use social media. Exactly. That's why we have the other side of our house. People are like, I don't know how to do I don't know how to get out and talk to people and communicate with them. That's what our business is all about, by the way. And that's what yours gets to be all about. Because no matter what business you're in the business of people. Now let's go to yourself. Let's say that you're in the yellow zone. Which means you have potential, but you're in a slump. You're down. You're discouraged. You're stuck. You're in Bohica Village. What do you need? You need a sponsor? No. What you need is a life coach. What you need is somebody to get you excited about being alive again. And you need to be setting goals and getting success that's there. Now the drama, how do you know that you're in the yellow zone? Well, let me tell you the drama that you're going to feel. It's anxiety. It's the anxiety to please people, and you're overselling and overcommitting and overpromising. When you start to feel that and you're getting results, you're probably in the yellow zone, and it's time for you to take some control of that area. Now, your single-minded focus when you get to the yellow zone is building relationships. And with that relationships comes building leaders. And remember, in the yellow zone is all about action. Leadership is caught, it's not taught. You can't teach someone how to be a leader. You got to Velcro them to your hip, take them with you, show them how it's done. And then you'll be surprised at how many relationships, how many employees, how your business, and how all of a sudden yourself are growing more than you ever thought possible. Welcome to the green zone. The green zone is green because it's money. It's where everything is good. Ability and effort are combining together for a successful outcome. You are getting results. People are happy. Things are working. Everyone's making money. So isn't that the object? Well, you can't make the green zone. You just have to take advantage of it when you see it. Because when it's green, it's good. And what is the time to do here? The time is to grow. So the focus inside of the green zone is to grow, is to invest, and to invest heavy. Now, what's happening in the green zone? Ability and effort is working together. You're getting results. Things are going well. Everyone is slapping each other on the back, okay? Now, what is your drama? How do you know you're in the green zone? Where you're starting to fear. Fear is the big issue. Fear of abandonment. Fear of loss. What if things go away? Excellent. So now it's time to protect what's happening and invest heavy. Push harder than ever before. One time I had a business associate who was on a roll. Have you ever been on a roll before? Do you know what it's like to be hot, to be on fire when things are just working? Well, when things are just working, you're like, I don't need management. I don't need help. I don't need support. Just light me on fire and people will come from miles to watch me burn, baby. You know, and so what happens is we tend to let those people go. And what happens is that now out of sight, out of mind. And people get on the honor system. And here's the rule. Beware of the honor system. The honor system is the kiss of death. So many relationships, so many employees, so much part of the business and a business failure, and so much people finding themselves that they're doing so well, they forget to do the right things, and all of a sudden they fall from grace. Now, I don't know why the honor system doesn't work. I didn't invent it. I remember when I used to have a warehouse for my books, and we don't do anything like that anymore because everything's so digital. But I remember a guy came in one day to my office and he says, hey, listen, I'd like to leave this box of candy in your break room, and it's on the honor system, so you don't have to pay any money for it. Just leave it, and the people will put money in it, and we'll be all happy. I said, okay, fine. So he left it in the break room. About 30 days later, he comes in my office, and he's all, oh my gosh, he's all upset and worried. So I realized it's a green zone issue, and I'm going, hey, what's the matter with you? He goes, your people took my candy and didn't leave any money. And he takes the box and starts pouring it out, and there's like a button that rolls out and a little IOU with no name on it. And he goes, your people, I thought they were good, upstanding people. I said, dude, don't trust anybody on the honor system. The honor system never works. So when you think about this for an example, what your mindset is that your mindset is that you need to be the supervisor. You have to make sure that you are watching over the good times and then make investments. This is the best time to get return on investments, is to push even harder. An employee came to me at one time and he said, John, he was on a roll, huge roll, like I was saying, and he wanted to take a vacation. And I go, no, this is probably not a good time. He goes, what? I'm doing so great. I said, no, that's exactly right. This is the time that you should be pushing harder. We should be getting while the getting is good. One of the customers that I work with in their business, they were telling me about how excited they were because they finally had a team of people that were just some of the top talent available, and they were just really ready to really produce. And I said, well, this is the time to let the sales go, to take some chances and take some risks and really make some solid investments because they had the green environment in place. So let's go back and look at everything once again. One of the first things is relationships. If your relationship is going good, don't take it for granted, because that's what happens, and people start looking elsewhere where the grass might be greener. They go through what I call the defection model. The defection model works the same way in the green zone. People are happy. Things are going well. We're all making money. It's all great. And then some event happens. And that event stirs someone to say, hey, maybe I'm not happy. Maybe there's something better out there. Maybe I should be in business for myself. Maybe there's somebody else that I should be with. All of these thoughts come into play. And then they begin to do due diligence, look around, doing the research. And if we're not around them, if we're not communicating, if we don't have some type of connection with them, they're doing this in secret. They're doing this on their own. They're on the honor system. We think everything is fine, but it's not. At some point, they make a decision to leave, and then they plan their exit strategy, and then we are the last ones to know. So, in the green zone, let's look at each area. So watch your relationships. Now with an employee, this is an employee that's a rock star. This is an employee that's doing really, really well. So what do? You give them perks? Absolutely. You give them hall passes? Absolutely. Most importantly, put them on the inner circle for information. Make them feel part of what they're doing. If you build your people, they will in turn build your business. Good people are hard to find. I don't mind losing people if they need to leave, but I don't want to lose them for the wrong reason. And allowing them on the honor system and neglecting them and forgetting about them, that's always the wrong reason. Now, in the green zone, what this is for you is when your business is going well, what you want to do is just relax and enjoy the profits. Nope. This is your time to grow. This is your time to invest. This is your time to bring new people into the mix. This is the time to expand. Now, when it's for you, this is when you need to be careful of a slip. If you're working on your character, you're working on your habits, and you've mastered it, you're like, I'm doing fantastic. Well, you need to be part of a group, part of a support team. See, the mindset in the green zone is all about teamwork. The personality style is that steady relator, team player, often offering support, cheat sheets, checklists, building systems. That's what always the mindset is. Now, the single-minded focus in the green zone, in any of the areas that we've talked about, is routine. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Review, recap, remind on zone management. Red zone, liability. Blue zone, preventive maintenance. Yellow zone, leadership development. Green zone, invest and invest heavy.